Everybody loves cookies, but which are the best ones? Though everyone might like a different type of cookie, I sought to create the best cookie possible, backed by science. I'm by no means a good cook or a cookie expert, so results may vary. So how do we do this? First, I searched for scientific articles, maybe illegally, but I think we should be fine, which we can use to make the recipe. Then I uploaded the articles onto a certain website, which gave me the correct measurements. Okay, so here's what we're gonna need. Some all-purpose flour. Ideally, you want to make sure it has low protein content. Something like 10 to 11%. Then unsalted butter, which is supposed to be at room temperature. Granulated white sugar, 1 large egg, also room temperature. Vanilla extract and baking soda, salt, and optionally you can add some chocolate. The first article tells us about the optimal ingredient ratios for the cookies, which is 59% sugar, 46% fat, and 14% water, which is in the egg, relative to flour weight. So let's start with combining the sugar and butter in a process called creaming. I'm making a very small batch, so for 120 grams of flour, I will need 71.6 grams of sugar and 56 grams of butter. The butter needs to be at 18 to 21 degrees Celsius. I never thought I would need to take the temperature of butter, but here we are. The butter doesn't have a fever, so we're good. Now it's time to cream them together, and the butter is resisting, which is understandable. The article says to beat them together at medium speed for 6 to 7 minutes until light, fluffy, and pale in color. And usually from what I saw online, people do this in the mixer, but my mixer broke from the last time, so I have to beat them by hand, which is gonna take some time. Also, I think I have the worst whisk for this, so we're gonna need to give the butter some time to rest. In the meantime though, we will start preparing the dry ingredients. Measure out 120 grams of all-purpose flour and mix that with a 1/4 teaspoon of baking soda and a 1/4 teaspoon of salt. I really don't want to say the word for the third time, but again, it's time to cream the butter. If you're like me and don't have any idea what we're doing right now, this is the picture of how it's supposed to look like, and how it's supposed to look like perfectly creamed. Okay, so while I'm beating the butter with the sugar, I think it's best to tell you something about the scientific process. This creaming process incorporates air into the fat-sugar mixture, creating a stable emulsion. Research shows that longer creaming time produces softer cookies with better spread factor. That's a crazy sentence. And also, the reason why we're using granulated sugar is because smaller sucrose crystals dissolve faster, which affects the gluten development and cookie structure. Standard granulated sugar provides the right balance. Okay, that should be enough. Now it's time to add the egg and 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract. And mix it until it's incorporated. Add the dry ingredients into the wet ingredients and mix it again. According to the article, we're supposed to not overmix it, so be careful. I also love chocolate in my cookies, so I'm gonna add some. Lightly mix it, cover the bowl, and we're supposed to let the dough chill in the fridge for at least 2 hours. So, see you then. Half an hour before I take the dough out of the fridge, I set the temperature to 190 Celsius. We're doing this because this temperature optimizes the Maillard reaction, which is the browning and flavor development. It also minimizes the formation of a carcinogenic chemical, which is, a nice thing. It has been well over 2 hours, so let's see how the dough is doing. It's looking pretty good. So now we have to divide the dough into 12 pieces. First I prepared some parchment paper. And as we are placing the dough on the parchment paper, we need to make sure it's 11 millimeters thick. We were supposed to do 12 of them, but I thought they would be too small, which was a mistake. Finally, we are ready to place them in the oven. They will bake at 190°C for 16 minutes and 30 seconds exactly. And this is the final result. They're actually looking pretty great. Let's just hope they taste as good. I removed the parchment paper so they can get crispy at the bottom as well. They're cooled down enough. Let's see how they taste. Okay, I was scared they would be too doughy on the inside since I made them bigger, but they're actually pretty good and very crunchy. If you're the type of person who doesn't like you know, more soggy-ish cookies, then you should definitely give them a try. Of course, we also have to try them with milk. Okay, they're pretty good. So would I make them again? Definitely yes. If you liked my little experiment, then please give the video a like. Okay, so that's it. Bye!